Knit one, heart two.
Episode 223.
We were actually in unison there.
I know.
It sounded weird. Harmony.
In harmony, that's right.
Harmony.
Um,
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Wendy. Welcome back to the show for our regular viewers. And new people,
Hi.
thanks for checking us out.
We appreciate it.
We do. It's always nice to have some fresh ears and eyes out there. So, shout outs. We are still doing... First of all, Sheila would like to apologize to you.
I would like to apologize to all our viewers who have been knitting shawls, wondering where the heck the shawl knit-along thread is, because
we
for
mention
some
every week.
reason I forgot to put it up earlier in August. So I really do apologize. If you haven't been to our group recently, I put it out there. Make sure you enter any of the shawls that you finish this month.
August
or
and
September.
in September.
It does not have to have been started in August or September, and this is completely different than the charity. If you are knitting a shawl for yourself or for a gift, by all means, enter it in that thread. If you are knitting a shawl for sort of the knitters, by all means, enter it on that thread, because his has to be his own design.
No, somebody said in the thread it doesn't have to be his own design.
According to his rules, it did, because I looked on it.
Oh.
I looked.
Okay, so that's
But he could have changed it.
He might have changed
it.
I don't know. I don't go on that
If
group,
you are doing his, just read the rules. That's all I can
just
say.
double check.
Our rules are knit anyone's.
We don't care.
I want to just apologize, but I want to make sure that you guys go out there and enter your shawl. You know what it is? We were talking about the charity, and I just...
and I have to say, I'm just really pleased that it wasn't my fault.
Because
a lot of the time, it's my fault.
I'll take full blame for it. It was freely my fault.
It's nice when it's
so
not
I apologize.
my fault.
And on that note, do remember that we do have the shawl charity going along. Any shawls, knit, woven, crocheted, scarves, shawls, prayer shawls, or anything like that you would like to, any fiber, wool, acrylic, cotton, that you would like to donate. We have a thread with all the information to send it to Lisa at Webs.
They can be brand new. They can be gently used.
And gently used, not old.
Right.
Like not something you'd give to
not
the Goodwill.
Ratty. Not ratty. Gently used. So that's good.
And both of those run through the end of September, which is about 2.5 more weeks.
And
or longer, because I don't know when you get back.
I get back on the 26th. So.
Let me just see.
We'll be recording that following week.
So it won't be 26th. So, yeah, it could be around the 30th, somewhere that we...
I found the We're Different Wilmas that was donated for the shawl charity, and I just wanted to show you that. I brought it downstairs so that I can photograph it. I already photographed the other prizes, and I can now put those in the thread so you can see what the goodies are that you're going to get if you win. So I'm just happy that you know where it was? It had fallen. It was in the prize box, but it had fallen out of the prize box and down behind my little table that I used to wind yarn. So when I was like, I know I put it in the prize box, and I was like, hey, what's that? It was in its little plastic bag under the table. I was like, okay, there it is. So that's good. And you are...
I go first.
Up first.
So on the needles currently is the second sock that I am knitting out of the Patton's Croy. I got another ball. The good thing is I try and pull from the center. Something wrong?
What's on my
I know,
bag?
I saw that, but I didn't know what it was.
I don't know
it looks
what
like baby powder if you use baby powder.
But no.
Good thing is I usually draw from the center when I do these. I don't know if you do. It actually is going in the same direction.
Oh.
The bad news is I had to pull out this much to get to the color. So I am trying to do identical or as close to identical as I can. And the only reason I'm doing that is because these are not for me.
Right.
So I've knit 2 toes up to this point and realized both times that I did not wind the ball enough to this point. So I am just starting the toe again. And the toe here, so I need just a smidge. And trying to get that amount is really difficult, which normally I don't care about. But so, and it's just vanilla socks toe up, fish lips kiss heel. And I don't even know if that's going to make it, to tell you the honest truth. At that point, I may just say, oh, it might. It might. So that's all I have actively on the needles. I'll explain the other thing later. Just one.
And that is just your generic sock?
Vanilla toe-up sock with fish lips kiss heel.
So I have cast on my Halloween sock. And
I'm so sad that I'm not going to be able to do it at the same time.
if you recall, well, it'll probably take me long.
I highly doubt it with you. It can go either way.
This is the yarn I got. It's Knitterly Things, and
Looks
the Bride
so pretty,
of
caked up.
I know, Bride of Socktober colorway, and it's in my Halloween bag. That
Very
I
dirty
somehow-
Halloween bag.
Just on one side.
So something must have splashed. Maybe tea.
Something got on it. Yeah, I didn't notice it. I'm trying to think where I had it that it would have gotten dirty. It's been on my couch, but one of the kids probably spilled something on it. So
One of the kids.
Well, it wasn't me. I would know if I spilled something on my own bag.
Not necessarily.
I think I would. I wasn't eating anything with powder. I wonder if...
I'd say coffee, but you don't drink coffee, so...
Yeah. So I balled it all up, and I put my sock thing in here.
I have mine floating around.
What I do need to do is put a Notions kit in there, because I don't have one in there. I just noticed.
What?
I know. I just started this today, and I have knit. I'm almost done with the toe.
I love the colors.
I know this purple. It's like a bluey purple. It's so pretty.
Hanked up or whatever you want to call it. In the skein, it looked really like crazy, but it's really, really pretty. And that's striping, right?
It's self-striping.
It's going to be really... I
think it's going to be cool.
I love the saturation of the colors.
Me too. I'm really liking it. This is not like the Vesper yarn I've gotten before. This is a very rustic, hardy sock yarn.
Does it have nylon in it?
It does. But I feel like it's going to knit up like... I think this is going to almost be bulletproof. For me. My bulletproof.
This is considered fingering weight?
Yeah. It's hardy. It's like this. It's not as soft as that, but it's like...
Yeah, but it will probably wash really nice.
Yeah.
See, to me, that's
too loose for you?
It is too loose for me, sorry.
To me, this is bulletproof.
That's funny.
I'm like, this is so tight. So anyway, I am going to use a mysterious sock pattern in my queue.
You don't know how it got there.
I do not know how it got there. I am going to do the Dalekanium pattern by Dina Stelly. You can pull it up?
Yeah.
She's going to pull it up. It is a paid-for pattern, and I think it's $4.99. Sheila's going to pull it up, so she'll tell you. I do not remember purchasing this pattern.
Because we all know Wendy does not purchase patterns.
I don't.
Sock patterns.
Usually I just buy the free ones or figure out how to do the ones that I like without buying the pattern, if it's easy. This is what it looks like. Oh, make your thing bright.
Sorry, I keep my light low to conserve battery.
That's a good... It's a really... I think it is such a pretty sock pattern. She's shown it on some that are self-striping, and I think it's really cute. Oh,
that's pretty.
I know, it is. It's really pretty it's a pretty pattern. So anyway, this came into my library in February of 2015.
Which is this year, by the way.
Which is this year. But when you look at the history of the pattern, which I did, because I was like, I don't remember buying this.
And again, Wendy wouldn't spend money on paper patterns. She just doesn't do it.
I just don't usually buy patterns that I can read the design of. So I was like, maybe somebody gifted it to me. I looked in my gift list. No, nobody gifted it to me. So then I looked in my purchases. I didn't purchase it.
We don't know how it got there.
So the only thing I can think of is that it might have been free for a period of time. Maybe she made all of her patterns free, or maybe
February,
her
maybe
sock
it was a
patterns.
Valentine's Day thingy.
And I took advantage of it and downloaded it because I did not buy it and it was not given to me. So but it's in my library. So that's just weird. That's never happened to me. I have no memory of it. I have no memory of downloading it. I was going through my queue and I was like, oh, I love that one. What's that? And
yeah, because that was when we found all the things for self-striping. That's when you started
that's
getting
when I
into
started
your
collecting a bunch of self-striping stuff. And I like the way that can look with self-striping. But I did not buy it.
We just don't know how it got there.
So Dina Stelly Designer, I don't know how I got your pattern, but I'm going to use it. I'm making some modifications to it.
Of course.
She has designed it to have a small gusset and a short row heel. So, of course, that's just like X. She doesn't cast on as many stitches as I do for the toe, so I changed that. And she makes the instep have a lot more stitches than the sole, and I don't do that. So I'm just knitting my standard sock, which is 12 stitch toe, increased to 32 stitches, instep and sole. Pattern on the instep until you get to the heel. Fish lips, kiss, heel. And then if I think that the fabric will be stretchy enough, I'll make the pattern be all the way on the leg once I get past the heel. Sometimes with slip stitch patterns, I like to see how much give there is because I don't want it to be tight. I might just do it up the front. So we'll see. I'm holding that off. But I am going to use her idea that's in the pattern that I somehow mysteriously got. It's like aliens put it in there. And I was like, was I taking migraine medication and I just made a purchase?
But see, we definitely know she didn't purchase it because it shows no purchase history
it
to it.
It doesn't show that I purchased it, and it doesn't show that it was given to me.
Because if it's gifted, it tells you who gifted it to you.
I thought for sure somebody had given it to me as a gift, but it must have been free. Because it says added to my library February 2015. Somebody added it. Me, I'm assuming.
I'm sorry that I keep showing my tonsils. I've been up since 3:30 and I really do apologize.
So that will be this, and I think it'll be super fun with these colors and dragging the little bits of color.
I really can't wait to see how that looks.
Too.
I can't wait. I'm just so jealous that those colors are so pretty.
See, nobody believed me when I picked this, but it's really going to be cool.
It is.
It's going to be pretty. So that's number 1. Number 2 is not quite on the needles yet, but I did wind my ball of yarn, and I have my swatch, and I just need to take my measurements and decide what gauge I want to use, and I'm going to start my swatch. Yes, that was washed and blocked, but it was washed and blocked in February, so it's been sitting around for a while. But it has been washed. I love how it knits up. This is my diabolical yarn. It's so good. And I can't find any of my big bags because everything is in disorder upstairs. So I threw it into my Star Wars bag that Lois gave me when I was having that really bad time.
I'd suggest you take a look at that bag again.
Star Trek, sorry.
Whoa. You just offended the universe.
The funniest thing is my niece came over one day and she knew the names of all these people because she watches Star Trek The Next Generation with her parents. It's like a family thing. She's like, Jean-Luc Picard. I'm like, that's right. Data.
My mom loved The Next Generation.
My husband's mother loved Star Trek. Her kids all love Star Trek. Jim loves Star Trek. I and my brother and I loved Star Trek. So it's like a family thing. My kids love Star Trek.
My mom really loved. She was faithful watcher. I believe it was Saturday night.
Oh yeah, Star Trek: The Next Generation, or as my husband and I like to call it, Stating. Stating is on.
I mean, she watched any of them. Any of the ones that came, she watched. She just.
I didn't like Deep Space Nine. I'm not a fan of that.
She did like Voyager.
Voyager I liked, and I liked Stating, but Deep Space Nine, not a huge fan. I did watch it though. I mean,
is that right?
It just wasn't that good. That wasn't what I enjoyed. I have to try to remember what this means.
Oh, I can probably tell you.
I think it's 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
10. Because I'm pretty sure I tested 7, 8, 9, 10, and I think that 8 or 9. I think 8 is what I like the best. That's a little too bulletproof.
I like the 9.
That's too much.
Yeah, but I like the 9 because remember. Oh, is this a pullover?
Yeah, it's a pullover.
Never mind. I was going to say, if it's a cardigan, you're usually going to wear something underneath it, but never mind.
No, I like the 8. I think I'm with 8. That's the other thing. I can't find my needles. They're somewhere upstairs.
This is what happens when you prepare in February and don't start until October.
That's right. Well, no. This is what happens when you have all of your knitting stuff organized, and then you have to take everything out of that area and put it all into a tiny room upstairs with everything that had to be moved, and then you're still keeping it up there because we still have a few things that have to be done. And so it's just like a nightmare. I have to crawl over. I need my husband to deflate the inflatable bed that he put up there when my daughter's room was being painted. Because I can't even walk into my office. There's a bed there. And I have to climb over the bed to get to any of the stuff that's up there. It's just a mess. So anyway, here it is. I'm going to cast it on. I took a look at the pattern. I read all the pattern notes. What I like to do is use the feature on Ravelry that lets you tell which things helped you, and then you highlight the part of the section that helps you. That way, when I log into the pattern, I can quickly click on the bottom patterns that helped you, and it shows me the things that I want to keep in mind as I'm making modifications to the sweater. It's really good. So that's what I will do. And the colorway of this yarn, this is worsted weight superwash from Diabolical Yarn, and the color is Polar Vortex.
Very pretty.
Yes, it is, and it's just delightful. It's just a really nice yarn. It reminds me of Mad Tosh. It's just as good as Mad Tosh. I personally feel it's just as good as Mad Tosh. Maybe even better. So I'm excited to do that. It's not quite on the needles, but I'm going to be working on it. And I'm going to do why can I never remember the name of this thing? Waking Tide Pullover by Courtney Spainhour. And I think I mentioned last week, people have had problems with the yoke, so I'm imagining I'm going to have to do some adjustments to that. And it has a lot of positive ease. It has 4 to 6 inches of positive ease in the bust. If I do 4 to 6 inches of positive ease in my bust, I'm going to have cloth like bunched up in my fat rolls over here. So I'm not going to have that much positive ease in the bust. I think I'm going to have 0 ease. I think I'm just going to make it 0, maybe 1 or 2 inches of ease. I'm not going to put a lot of ease in the bust. And I'm certainly not going to put 4 to 6 inches of ease in the hips or the waist, because that would be insane.
Need that.
No. So I'm going to have to modify. That's why I don't normally swatch. I'm just like a risk taker. I just don't swatch. But that's why I did this, because I knew I was going to have to make some calculations so that it fits me the way that I want it to. Because I would hate, this is really nice yarn, I would hate to waste it and then have an ill-fitting garment.
I agree.
So anyway, that will be, you should be seeing more of that soon, because I want to try to finish it by October 15th, which is why I might not get all this done. I probably will knit exclusively on this.
When you do that, you can almost do one for a week.
A straight stockinette in the round sweater is not going to take me very long. It just depends on how much modification I have to do. Because sometimes when you have to modify stuff, you're like, ugh, and you just don't want to deal with it. But I have stuff, like I have my spreadsheets set up, so I just have to put stuff in the spreadsheet. So it shouldn't be that bad. So anyway, that's it for the dance card. Write your date.
I only have a project half done. Right?
Yes.
So this is my Patton's Croy. None of the ends are woven in. So I'm trying to match this. I really like how the colors came out. I did it a little longer than I would normally. She wanted it like a little bit above mid-calf.
Like a boot sock.
Yeah, boot sock, but it's below the boot.
Right, but, but not like here. It has to cover under.
Well, mine typically would probably be like here.
Yeah.
So I did about 2 inches more. And I did a lot of ribbing. So what I did is, this is a 68 stitch sock because I'm not sure. She said she doesn't have wide feet, but they looked maybe a little wider than a 64. So I said 68 would be good. I did a black heel out of leftovers that I had. And when I got to the ribbing, I just increased 4 stitches total to 72 and did the ribbing in 72. So that it
she
can go
cuff
over
it
her
over
calf.
if she needed.
Well, it could go over her calf because, again, I don't know her legs. You never see someone's legs. So I just figured 72 was safe. And unless it's really long, I've never had any issues with socks falling down, especially mine.
And with that big ribbing section, she could turn it over if she wanted to.
Right. So this is what I was trying to match. The one thing I had, and it has nothing to do with the pattern, and I don't have my pieces of yarn. Anyone who follows me on Instagram, I pictured Susan B. Anderson made a comment.
Yeah.
I like how you use the paper plate. So I put a photo of a knot that I had in the yarn, which is fine. I have no problem with knots. It happens. The thing I have a problem with is I had just finished this color here. And the knot was in the blue because there's a small transition of blue. And then further on, it goes back to this color. So I would have had a repeat of this one up here as well. So here's the blue. I'm trying to think. It skipped. So it was supposed to go to brown. So it skipped 3 colors, and 4 colors actually, and went back to the light tan. So kind of, I think even if it was for my own self, it still would have ticked me off because you're buying self-striping. Anyways, so I have a few more ends to weave in because I did rip it out. Not rip it out. I did break the yarn. It was only a small little nugget, and I had plenty of yarn left for what I was using it for. But it did piss me off a little.
It stinks when you have. It doesn't usually happen with independent dyers because they dye each skein to stripe. That they usually skein up a sock's worth or whatever. It happens with commercial dyers when you have gradient yarn or any kind of a repeating pattern yarn, and there's a break, and they randomly tie it to another part of the yarn that's not anywhere near. So you're going along, and it's turning into a pattern, and then bam. It's frustrating. I had that happen with the counting yarn.
Yeah, and I mean, I was lucky enough that the right yarn that I was looking for was right there.
Yeah. But you didn't have to do too much.
I didn't have to waste a yarn. I mean, because, again, I'm trying to keep this cost to a minimal so that I make more profit than not. Yes, am I being selfish? But I think I need to be.
You're asking to be compensated for your work.
So, other than that, like I've said before, this is the third skein I've knit with this yarn, and I really like it. It's a great workhorse yarn.
Yeah, I love Patton's Croy, and I did not have any knots in the ones that I've recently done.
I've had any.
So it's not like it's a common
No, it's
thing
the first time
thing
that I've run across it, because otherwise...
It's just frustrating when it happens, because it's, it can
And
just
again, it
screw you
wouldn't
up.
make a difference if it, they tied it right where it should have been tied, but for some reason they didn't. So I have no problems with that. So I cast on. I'm hoping this weekend to get a lot of knitting done. I'm off tomorrow. I have a few appointments. Friday, I have a game to go to, so I can knit there. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that sounds good. I have a date to write. I finished my Mr. Invested socks. So here is the one that I did the modification on with the seed stitch. And here is the one that has just the plain. And I have to say, when I look at them both together, I think the seed stitch is prettier. It really does hide those transitions better than...
I like the seed stitch.
I think it just adds a little extra something to it. It's kind of pretty. I like them. They came out very close. They were only, I just pulled from, I don't care if my socks match. So I just pulled from the second, I had 2 skeins of this, so I knit one out of 1 skein, and I just started with the second skein. But they came out to be very close. It was off by like 1 stripe. So you can see, and I did manage to get the heel to be attractive on this one, as well as this one. Oh, came out pretty good. So I'm happy about that. And I love how soft this yarn is. But going from knit picks to this, I was like, this is so rough. But this is just really unusually soft for a nylon sock yarn. So I love them. I'm really happy with them. I probably wouldn't knit this pattern again, just because, like I said, I had to follow on the chart because, like, it was easy to tell where to turn one side, but the one that was in the middle of the leg, it was hard to tell. Like, I could, and then when you had to do the transition to start, like, there's one that you're finishing and one that you're starting, I had to always look to see. It didn't happen frequently enough where I could just internalize it. I had to look to see when I had to do that and what I had to do. So it was not a restful pattern, and that's kind of why I'm looking forward to doing the Dalekanium.
Yeah, that looks.
That's gonna be a simple pattern. It's not gonna be rocket science, so I won't have to pay attention to that, and that'll be good because this is gonna be my sock to like knit on the plane and everything.
I was just gonna ask you driving and you flying?
We're flying, so this will be like my plane thing, and when I sit down on the beach, it'll be this because it's small, and this will be what I work on when I'm in the beach house at night when I'm watching TV.
That's what I'm hoping for that one now.
But Mr. Invested, it's a good pattern. I think it would look. I think she made it in honor of her husband. And I think it would make a great men's pattern.
It's very nice.
Geometric and nice. And I think the sock yarn that I used was the Baker Street colorway is very masculine too. So if I made socks for my husband, those would have been a nice pair for him. But he's not sock worthy.
My husband recently told me that, maybe I'd wear a pair.
What about the ones you already gave him?
Yeah, well, those still have to get fixed. They haven't been worn, but maybe once, maybe twice. Just such a shame.
Whirlwind Romance. I did not finish my quilt, and the reason why is I sewed through my finger with the sewing machine. You can't really see it anymore. It looks like a snake bite. See, that's where it went out, and that's where it went in. Apparently, I was really lucky that I didn't sew through my fingernail. And I'll tell you how it happened. My husband made me this Ghetto Fabulous extension table for my sewing machine. I could just show you how Ghetto Fabulous it is. It's made out of insulation foam, stiff insulation foam, duct tape, and vinyl, plastic vinyl. And I slide my sewing machine into it, and then I have like a nice big smooth area to quilt with. It makes it easy to slip. Really easy to slip and slide. So
too easy to slip and slide?
Apparently too easy for me. So, and I had to adjust something. So I had taken off my quilting gloves, which might have given me some protection because my husband's like, don't those quilting gloves do it? I'm like, they weren't on me when this happened. And I was doing my little thing, and I'm going along, and I was thinking, God, this is going to be so fast. Bam! Just put my finger right underneath the needle. So I got a little too excited with my free motion quilting.
Calm down, girl.
I know. So I've been taking a break. I have to admit, when it happened, the horror of it didn't hurt. It really did not hurt. It happened so fast that it didn't really hurt when it happened. But I knew that I had sewed through my finger and the needle broke. I'm lucky it didn't fly into my eye or something. But the horror of what had happened was so bad. So I put I had like a towel over it, and I went out on the deck to tell my husband, and he was telling me something, and I'm just standing there, and he's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I sewed through my finger. How bad is it? I don't know. I can't look at it. So he looked at it, and he's like, it's not that bad. But I felt like I was going to pass out. I had to go lie on the couch because I couldn't stop. But it barely even bled. Like, it was not that big a deal.
You drama queen.
It was the horror of it. Like, that's just not something you want to picture in your head. And I wore a Band-Aid for like a day, and it healed up. It just looks like a little snake bite now. But so that's the second injury that I've gotten from quilting. So I'm taking a little break from quilting right now because I need my hands for knitting. I did not realize how dangerous sewing was. Quilting, I guess sewing is not that dangerous. Quilting is very dangerous to me. I'm not, my hands are going to be all jacked up. So yeah, but I love my thing that my husband, he made it from a YouTube video. I was so excited.
Bam!
Bam! And then I was like, oh. So anyway, nothing to show for Whirlwind Romance this week due to my inability to function.
Inability to sew.
Yeah, so safely. Future dates.
Future dates. So I talked about doing Happy Street last week by Vera Vahamaki.
She's not having a happy street.
I'm not having a happy street, and it has nothing to do with the pattern and everything to do with the fact that I cannot read.
Now you know how I feel. There are certain patterns where
I don't know what I was
not
thinking.
Read that?
Now, without really giving away too much, I was making more increases than I needed to be, and I wasn't following.
She wasn't doing the right kind of increases.
No, I was doing the right increases. I was making too much. But I'm like, wait a minute, this is a little lacier than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, because, hello, one of the stitches I was supposed to do was to get rid of the lace. But, on a good note on it, we have it wound.
Well, that's
and
good.
Wound.
That doesn't look too bad. This one's jacked.
Well, no, that's because I ripped it out. I mean, when I ripped it out, I was like, it's a crescent shawl, so it was like this far into it. I'm like, I think I ripped it out.
You said 3 times.
3 times? The first one just wasn't looking right. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? I read it again. I'm like, oh. And then, so I asked my son, Max, I said, what color does this look? He goes, it's kind of purple. And it is kind of purple.
It's like maroon.
But in the light that we were looking at my house, it looked really purple.
Oh.
Like a reddish purple.
It's got purple and it's got maroon in it.
And I asked Max, I said, will it still go with this? He goes, yeah, it should. He goes, why are you asking me?
Because my eyes don't work when it comes to
because you have good color sense, better than I do. And he's like, all right, whatever. So, no, these actually, this was a pain to wind. The skein is old. It's an old deep stash. But it took me forever to wind these. And all of these, the reason why they look good is because they've been rewound.
Oh.
Not that one, but these all have been rewound. It's not, I mean.
I was thinking when I was winding my yarn today that there should be a section where we tell about the windability of yarn. This one was easy to wind, but you can see on the end the end I had a problem with. But the way that she ties her skeins together, it took me a minute to figure out how to get it ready to wind. Like, she wraps the free ends around either side, and then this one just kept jumping off of my table.
Well, I think it might have been the blue one. So the gray one I had wound a while ago, and I just rewound it, I think. The red one I wound, it took me a long time. The blue one, when I cut the ends, I all of a sudden lost an end. I'm like, oh.
Oh, I hate that.
Because sometimes if you lose an end, you will never get it back. not the way that it should be. But I was able to find it quickly, and this one's still... I don't have a Swift. I use the back of my chair with, like, blankets to kind of make it the size of a Swift, like an adjustable Swift, but it's not adjustable. So it took me a while, and unfortunately, because he's a deep stash, even though I am taking allergy meds,
the dust is getting to you.
Oh my God, my eyes were burning for 2 days straight. Because I think I wound this.
You're going to have to name this project Unhappy Street.
I think I wound this, well, I called it Happy Football Street, because this is going to be my football knitting. So I wound it on Sunday. Or was it Monday? It might have been Monday. Today's what, Wednesday? No, it's probably Sunday.
Today is Wednesday. I had checked because I thought today might be Thursday. I need to know because I need to pack everything for our trip on Friday because we're leaving at the crack of dawn.
So I think I wound this on Sunday after work and paid the price for the rest of the next 2 days. I think I cast on Monday. Please. Then I'm like, well, maybe I can cast on again. So this is going to be mostly my at-home knitting. So here's the 3 colors.
I think they look so pretty together.
The red is going to be the main. Yeah, it's not even real red. The wine. Because it is called Wine for Roses or something like that.
Wine is the good way to describe that color.
Wine for Roses, I think, is the name of the color, which I got it a while ago. A long time ago. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, I called it Happy Football Street. So, let me just show you what it looks like. I like it. I like the colors.
I do too. I think it'll be pretty.
So the wine is going to be the main color where the gray is, and then I'm going to alternate the blue and the gray, where the dark gray and the pink are. Which should I do first? The blue?
Blue.
Yeah, blue then gray. And that'll be fun. I'll knit until whatever.
No, you want to have it... Yeah. No. You want to have... What did we decide?
I don't know.
You don't want to have the stripes be red and gray. That will be bad.
Well, no, they're not. No, this is the main color.
Oh, you're going to... Okay.
So, no. See where the light gray is?
Yes.
That's going to be this.
Right. Okay.
And then the stripes are going to alternate blue and gray, but I'm asking what should be first for the stripe, the blue or the gray. And I think blue. I mean, it doesn't make a difference.
I think blue.
And there's going to be a little bit of red in between.
Right.
But not enough to... I was going to ask you if maybe you could look at my stash and see if something else would suit better, which we might do. But
I think this is beautiful.
This is Deep Stash. Deep Stash. So,
that's good.
Yeah. Plus, so it's Deep Stash and it's Blue Moon Stash. One skein is Blue Moon.
That's awesome.
Somebody did ask me on Instagram what my skeins were and my colors were. I'm like, oh. Let me go check.
This one is Bye Bye Blues, and it is...
Caper Sock, I believe?
Caper Sock, yeah.
And this is...
String Theory Fiber Arts. I know that because I have that same one.
Handmade Fine Yarn Casbah Sock. So, I got the Blue Moon, which is 100% merino.
What's
the Casbah Sock, which is the Wine for Roses. Burgundy is... No, this one here.
Yeah, that's...
Is 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. This is the Caper Sock, Bye Bye Blues, 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. So this is the odd man out.
But the way that it feels, it's perfect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and the twists are the same.
Yeah.
It's funny because this is medium weight, but yet doesn't this look thicker? Yeah. These are all considered just plain old fingering weight.
Yeah.
And this is considered a sport. So
but they all look the same.
They all, this might look a little thinner, but. And I'm doing them on size 7 needles. I liked the fabric in 7. Heck, I did, like 3 swatches of it. The one thing I didn't like, which I'm kind of sad about, I'm using the square fixed circulars.
Yeah.
The points are not that pointy. So because it's a darker yarn, when I'm trying to do the increases.
Yeah. Not fun.
It wasn't. So this is my future date, which I guess could have been considered on the needles, but it really isn't.
Yeah, and my future dates are just the things that I told you about: the sock and the sweater.
Knitting my bag mushroom.
I'm pretty sure I have a Notions pouch out of that material
from
Stitched by Jessilu, I think.
Oh, it's got orange. I like it. This is what, her medium bag?
That's her medium bag.
So, also, just to let you guys know, I'm doing this through the DCS Pigskin Party.
Down Cellar podcast.
But it's DCS. Downstairs Cellar? DSC? I don't remember. I'm sorry, Jen. I don't remember.
It's Jen.
From the down... Oh, you know what? I
thought it was just Down Cellar podcast. Down
Cellar Studio podcast. I knew there was an S. So it's DCS Pigskin Party 2015, and I get extra points for being a sponsor.
Yes. The people that you draft, what were you doing saying you were going to do?
But I didn't. I didn't draft you guys.
Oh, you should have, because I'm using that bag too.
I can draft
you.
You.
Made more points.
Well, it's not over yet.
Oh.
I'll draft you. Because you can get points because you started that after any projects had to be started after the 10th of September. Only because it's 5 months long, there should be no need to, do a finish, whatever.
Right.
So that can be counted, and it's 100 points for every 100 yards. So we knit socks, we'll get 400 points every time, or I don't know. No, maybe it's 7 points for every 100. Yeah, that sounds better. If anyone knows football is 100 yards.
I don't even know football. And I don't watch football, but if my knitting can help you, you can put me in. So anyway, my future date.
You don't have to watch
the sweater and the sock. Look, I'm on the pink. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited. I love self-striping yarn. I'm so excited I can't even say it. Baubles and Bling. Do you have anything this week?
I don't think so.
I have just a little something.
No, I don't know.
My friend Bindi, who's also
right.
Sheila's friend, because
I didn't get to see her though.
No, but she came out. This is the best story ever. Her husband thought he had incurable stomach cancer. He went to a different doctor because they live part of the year in Florida, part of the year in Michigan. Went to a different doctor in Florida, and that doctor said, I want you to see this specialist at Mass General because I don't think you have what they say you have. So he came up to Mass General, and the doctor examined his records and everything.
He came up last year.
It was like last spring, and then 6 or 8 weeks later, he came back because the doctor said, I'm pretty sure you don't have what they told you have, and we can correct it with surgery. And he had surgery, and it was bariatric surgery. So he had to be in the hospital for 6 weeks, and then, he had to be in the hospital for a while, and then he had to recuperate next to the hospital. So his wife was with him, and she is one of our viewers that I met from doing the podcast. And so she had contacted me way at the beginning to help her out with hotels, things to do. I met her for lunch the first time they came out, and then when she was in town, I would go over to the hospital a few times and visit with her and have lunch with her just so she had somebody that she knew. And I told her when her husband was well enough to spend the day alone, we would take her to Webb's. And so towards the end of their stay, Sheila and I took her to Webb's for the day, and then she took us out to lunch.
We had a good time.
So her husband did very well from that, and he was back for his 1-year checkup this weekend. And I met up with her on Monday, and she gave me a beach house washcloth, like rows of houses, which I think is so pretty. And she also gave me, oops, you're not going to be able to see that, Niagara Falls. I like it. It's so pretty. And Canada for my mug collection. Wasn't that sweet? So I was super excited about that. And I will put this in my bathroom. My personal, let's have my personal washcloth.
Oh. I was going to say, first of all,
we had a nice time. We went out for
person.
sushi.
I know, I saw.
It was pretty good. So, yeah, I was excited to see her, and I'm excited because her husband is, like, basically...
Cured?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, he has to be monitored, but he's definitely not on his, like, going to die, which is basically what they told him before. Which it goes to show you, always get a second opinion.
Yeah.
And if you can get it at Mass General Hospital, might be good, I think. Or another hospital, like Mayo Clinic, or, like one of
reputable.
Yeah. I just, I think there are advances in medicine that people that you see at one of the big research hospitals might be more aware of than at local hospitals. I just think something to keep in mind. So I was excited to see her, and I love my presents. And that's it for Baubles and Bling. Crushes and heartbreaks?
A couple of different crushes and heartbreaks. A little heartbreak. My husband's aunt had an accident last week. She lives in Chicago, Illinois. She apparently confused the drive with reverse and drove into a house or a garage, which collapsed on her and is not doing well. So my husband is going to Chicago this weekend, and I feel bad for him. His, his family from California is going. I got a text today saying it didn't look good. They don't expect her to live through the weekend, which I feel bad. So my husband's going to be spending some time with his family, and he sent me a text because I said, when you find out, just let me know so that I can make plans if he's going away. I'm not working this weekend, so it works well. But I do. Sometimes this really shows him how much he does love me, because he doesn't say it. But he told me what was going on, and he goes, I'm sorry, I'm going to miss your birthday.
Yeah.
I got a little teary-eyed. I'm like, oh. So, yes, my birthday is Saturday. I will be 45. I have no qualms stating how old I am. Ask me what my weight, and that's a whole nother story. I will be 45, and I will be spending it with two of my other favorite boys. My boys, obviously. We'll figure something else to do. And I love my husband, but sometimes when he's not home, it's kind of nice. So that's a heartbreak. I feel bad for him. I am glad that he will be able to see his mother, because his mother is coming over from California.
So that'll be nice.
He hasn't seen her in a couple of years. It's sad that this has to be the reason.
Well, that's kind of how I feel about my uncle's memorial service.
Some crush. Well, another heartbreak crush. I have yet to hear from the construction company. I called them and said, yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday would be great. Well, it's not going to be those days because the guy we were sending over went home sick on Monday. And we'll call you Tuesday with an update. Did I get a phone call? They're supposed to show tomorrow morning. We'll see if that happens. I really, honestly don't know. I think if it does not show, they will get a letter. I called that. First off, he gave me his cell phone. Never answered it, and voicemail is full. So I had to wonder if it was the right number, because I had entered it into my phone. So I had written the phone number down. So I called the office, got him, and he's like, "What's the name again?" I'm like, "Oh, I really don't like this." If for some reason we don't get a phone call or a show, they will get an email saying, "We've had enough. They've had ample enough time. We want our money back. We're going to tell the insurance to cancel the contract with you," or however it is. I have the wording. And if we do not get our money back by a week, they will be hearing from our lawyer. I don't know. We'll figure out. I'm just going to try and threaten. It may be something that we might have to suck up the $500. I'm not sure.
No, I think the insurance company has to give you your money back. If they told you to go with that person, you gave them a deposit and they never did the work.
So, and then the other thing my husband said, and I was wondering this too, is they're supposedly squeezing us in this week. Does that mean that they're going to squeeze us in each week so that it's going to take 7 weeks to do? At this point, I really don't want to deal with them. Will we run into similar problems with other contractors in the sense of they can't get to us? Possibly.
Well, I talked to Nando the other day.
Yeah, he sent me an email finally, but we put it on hold because...
I didn't say anything to him because I knew that they had said they were coming in. But I know that if I put in a word, I could tell him about your situation. He's pretty sympathetic. So if you need it.
We might, and I still have the email that he sent. So it's getting very frustrating, and unfortunately neither myself or my husband are one for confrontation, but it's been thrown on my lap right now.
Yeah.
I do well over the phone or in email. I don't do well in person. So this is where we are with that. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If I don't get a phone call tonight and nobody shows tomorrow, then yeah, we'll be done with them. And I don't think anyone would blame me at that point.
No.
Because the communication has been an issue all along. And
No, I just have to point out, I randomly went to 4 contractors in April, and I was able to finalize a contract, get my full funding for the extra stuff that the contractor saw that didn't get picked up in the initial thing, get that approved, get the check, and have the work done in the time that you've just paid a deposit and nothing's happening. That's just not right. And
no,
the guy
not.
that I used is very busy. He's a very popular, I got him from Band of Neighbors on Angie's List. He has a lot of work in this area. He always has business. So it's not an excuse. If they can't handle their workload, they should tell the insurance company to assign you to somebody else. I was jealous of her when she said that they were assigning you a person because, it sucked my life away to have to research and then interview all of these contractors.
Yeah, I'm not happy. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure what's going to happen right now. The kind of crush that was kind of fun. So I've been knitting socks ever since, I can't even remember, but my coworker Linda, I guess, has never seen me cast on for a toe-up sock.
Mm-hmm.
She does the short row method where you basically do a provisional cast on.
Oh, right.
And but she doesn't. She just casts on and then picks up or whatever. And she goes, I hate having the line on the toe. And she goes, how do you do that? So today we spent our lunch 30 to 40 minutes. I showed her how Jenny's magic cast on. And she kept... First, we showed it during break, and she was doing it with 5 double-pointed needles. I'm like, you're going to hurt yourself with those things, because I don't know if anyone's done Jenny's. I'm sure they have, because there's ways to do it with double points. But, oh, my God. I just can't even explain it. It looked like an octopus going everywhere. So, during lunchtime, I had brought my needles with me, a couple of sets of needles with me, and I gave her one of my Chowgu needles. I thought it was a 1, but it might be a 1.5. I'm not sure. And she had light worsted weight yarn that she was just practicing with.
Yeah.
So I showed her how to do it. And the way that I really had to show her was I actually was with her hands taking it. And she got it. She got it. She got the whole idea. And she goes, next time you and your group go out shopping. I'm like, I don't go out as a group, but okay. She wants me to pick her up some needles. I said, use those. I don't use them.
Yeah.
I mean, I will pick her up some, but I'm like, don't worry about it. Just use those for now. I don't need them. Have fun with them. And she kind of got the hang of it. She was so funny.
Your group.
So she's been taking AC Moore coupons and buying one each day. She goes, because she drives by AC Moore each day to go home and buy some. She bought this color. She's making some socks for her sister, brother-in-law, and her mother, or something like that, and possibly her son. So she's like, oh, this way's so much better. I'm teaching her magic loop. I'm like, yes, it is. So that was kind of fun. And then we used our handy-dandy Socksy, because she only knew the sizes of shoes. So we, on like cardstock paper, she's so cute. She's so funny. On cardstock paper, I outlined where size 10 is, where you should start the heel. She'll do a short row heel just because it's what she knows, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'll get her to do the fish lips kiss heel another day, one thing at a time. So we mapped out how many stitches she needed to cast on, if they have wide feet or not, and I wrote it all out for her.
That's awesome.
And she's just gonna do a vanilla sock, but she's one of those that cannot go to sleep until like it's done, so she's gonna be losing some sleep. She's so funny, and but she doesn't bring it to work. Only when she wants to work.
I love it when you teach somebody who's really old school something, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so much better."
She's so funny because this is the Chinese woman.
The other Asian woman.
No, not the other Asian.
It's not the other Asian woman?
It is. I mean, it's the Asian woman, but the Chinese woman. Her language, because she learned how to knit in China. So she doesn't know the English terms for it. So when I say, okay, you want to make one, she's like, I said increase or whatever, add one. So we're using, we call it Linda Ease, kind of like Cam Ease.
Yeah.
Linda Ease. I speak Linda. I'm like, you got to make one. I said, so when I was writing it down, I said, do you understand increase? She goes, I understand increase. And I'm like, I did CO for cast on. She goes, write it out because I won't
remember what that is.
I'm like, okay.
So is that it for your precious?
I'm sure I have some other things other than the fact that it's my birthday on Saturday.
Not your birthday yet.
On Saturday. By the time most of the people watch it, it will be.
I will be gone on Sheila's birthday, so she's not getting her present until
everybody's leaving me on my birthday.
Sorry.
My husband's leaving me. My friend's leaving me.
I am sorry.
But not sorry.
I'm sorry that you don't have people around for your birthday, but I'm going to the beach, so I'm not that sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. My crush this week is I went to my sister-in-law's house today, and I played with my niece and my baby niece, my new baby niece. And we had a really good time. My niece was so sweet, and the baby is smiling. So I was holding her, and she's just smiling. And you know how cute baby smiles are. And I was like, is she gassy or is she really smiling? Because she was so overdue.
She's like 2 weeks advanced.
She's a little bit ahead of babies normally. And she's just the sweetest little thing. And I think she's the spitting image of my sister-in-law. And the other baby my other niece looks more like her dad, so it's kind of cute. It's like they got one of each. But I haven't been over there because of my uncle passing and all the stuff that was going on while he was in the hospital for like 2.5 weeks. I've just been out flat. Mm. And so this was the first time I'd gotten to go over there in a long time, and my niece was so excited to see me. So that was just really, because she loves me, that just made me really happy. And I love holding a baby, somebody else's baby. It's just nice to have that little...
Yeah, I don't get to hold babies, but I get to hold their feet.
And then you stab them with a pin. That's so horrible. That's not the same. Not the same at all.
Oh, here's a little side story. So yesterday we had to do a patient. We had to do I think it was almost 3 months. A blood draw. And Linda went with me. And it was an Asian couple. And Linda was just talking in English because she thought they were a different ethnic background when they weren't. And so when she realized that she could talk to them, she starts talking and they're talking together. And she apologized for talking Chinese in front of me. I'm like, that's okay. It doesn't bother me. And then she starts laughing and she goes, that's so true, that's so true. And I'm looking at her and she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. Because I had no clue what they had been saying. I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. I'm like, what the heck? But she was so caught up in the moment that she thought I was understanding. I mean, I got the gist of what was going on because of the motions that they were doing. And it was funny. The mom was trying to...
she forgot that you're not the other Asian woman. She did.
The mom was trying to calm the baby down and saying, it's okay, it's only a blood draw. And Linda said, it's easy for you to say because you're not the one getting stuck.
Well,
it was funny.
So, yeah, that was my crush. My heartbreak is that I sewed through my finger. That was horrifying. I hope it never happens again. I will, from now on, be much more careful when I'm doing mine.
Especially with that
with my slidey my Ghetto Fabulous extension table. I love it that my husband went on the internet and researched how to make one. I think that's awesome.
I think that is too.
So I really appreciate it. And
looks fabulous.
It's pretty gorgeous.
How much do those things go for?
I have no idea. My husband got it at Home Depot. The purple styrofoam stuff, my husband got at Home Depot. He cut it out with his bandsaw. He measured my
sewing machine base.
And then I went to Joann and I bought the vinyl sheeting, which is cheap.
Sheet vinyl?
Sheet vinyl. It's not sheet vinyl. I bought that, and he set it up the way he saw, so that some of the sheet vinyl actually goes over the sewing machine, so it makes it really slidey. And then apparently there's this sewing grade stuff that you can spray that makes it even slipperier, but I don't think I need that.
No, then you'll sew your
I'll sew my whole hand off or something. I told my husband, I'm glad I wasn't wearing gloves. I probably would have sewed the gloves to my hand.
Yeah,
that would have been horrifying. It was already horrifying enough. That would have just been another level. I was so calm. He's like, you were so calm. And I was like, yeah, because I was trying not to pass out. I was. I don't know why, but that just was horrifying to me. So anyway, that's all a crush except for a heartbreak for that. My other crushes.
Go to the beach.
Going to the beach. Yeah, thank you. I was going to forget that. My other crush is going to the beach. I'm going to the Outer Banks. I've been going there since I was 18 with my family. Same place. Different beach houses. I think we've been in this beach house for 10 years now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We were in one for a long time. Because that was 30 years I've been going there.
Wow.
Because I'm 48. So for 30 years, probably 20 of those years, we went to one beach house. And then we found a really good deal on an oceanfront. So for the last 10 years, we've been in an oceanfront house that sleeps 10 people. So my parents can have people visiting. We didn't go last year because my daughter was starting middle school, and we didn't want to take her away in the middle of that. But now that she's all comfortable, I was like, yeah, we're pulling her out. So the kids are going to love it. I get to see my mom, which will be nice because I know she's feeling kind of bad about my uncle passing. And I get a nice little break before I have to come back and get stuff done, because I realize I'm going to be gone a week. I'll be home a week. Then I'm going to be gone Wednesday through Sunday. Then I'll be home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'll be gone Thursday through Monday. Back to back. This is stressing me out. So it's a crush that I get to go on these trips, and it's a heartbreak because I feel stressed about it.
Right.
I need to get organized. So that's it for my crushes and heartbreaks. Gossip and innuendo. Stuff is coming up on the 19th and also on the 26th. So if you are in the Massachusetts area, check out our show notes on our blog, because they will tell you where these events are. I will not be in town on either of those days, so I am not going to anything.
What days?
Saturday the 19th and Saturday the 26th.
What's Saturday the 19th?
I think the 26th is the Adirondack one, so the 19th is going to be that farm one that's in, can't remember where it is, and some other one that I don't remember. I can tell you real quick.
Oh, no big deal.
They're in the show notes. Check out the show notes, and then you will see them. But, yeah, if you live in this area, this is also a good time to go apple picking if you live in this area.
No.
So, anyway, that's all.
Thanks for watching. Recording.
I'm going to try to record on vacation, but I might not. I reserved the right not to.
And you go, when do you, so
I'm
you go
leaving,
for 2 weeks.
I'm leaving at dark 30 on Saturday.
For 2 weeks?
No, I'm going to be gone just 1 week.
Oh, all right.
I am leaving on the 19th. I will be home on the 26th.
All right.
And I'm missing my niece's birthday party, and I feel so bad about it, but I said to her, she's like, you were here last year. And I'm like, last year we didn't go. And the year before was when she was born. And she was born when I was down at the beach.
Right.
So I was like, I'm sorry, we are not going to be there. I'm going to go the day after and give her a little present. I asked her what she wanted.
What she want?
She wanted stickers, but she has so many stickers now. Like
here, though, right?
No, I got her the plastic kind that aren't really stickers.
Oh, like
she wants more of those.
What were they called?
Color
Klingons?
forms. They're like color forms. Yeah.
Klingons.
Oh, that makes me think of a really bad joke that I'm not going to say. All right.
I probably have heard it.
Before I say it.
Thanks for watching us. Have a good week. Knit with Heart.
Bye.